Okay, so we'll call the selectmen's meeting to order at 8:31 a.m. First up, we need to approve and sign some minutes here. So we'll start with the minutes from the meeting on Tuesday, July 23rd. Were there any changes to those? Okay,
No, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
great, don't have a second. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Next up is the non-public meeting minutes from the 23rd. I will make a motion to accept those minutes as presented and to be sure that they are sealed. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
No, you can't have these yet, sorry.
Next up, we have,
Sorry.
meeting workshop minutes from,
Laura said.
oh, sorry. Yeah. Workshop minutes from August 2nd. This was our ride around, right?
Oh, right around, okay.
Yeah.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from August 2nd.
All those in favor? Aye.
Why don't we do all first and put them by the.
Yep, let's do it.
Come on.
What do we- So this
I
is
just-
with Cubic.
Yeah, her email is attached,
Yes.
to the board pack, and you might just wanna ask her if we should be a non-public or not non-public. I don't know.
Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Good, thanks. Quick question, should we go into non-public to discuss this, or can we stay in public? We are recording.
We can talk about it in public if you want.
Sure.
I mean, if
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
gonna give you your options.
Okay,
I understand the one thing I didn't understand for, pending appeal or. Do you want to intervene in the pending appeal of the site plan approval? What does that mean?
Sorry, not site plan approval, the variant, yes, the site plan approval. Okay, so the abutter has already appealed the site plan approval. So we
Okay.
could seek to become part of that lawsuit.
Okay, so we don't wanna sue by ourselves, no matter what, if, I think the problem we've got here is that. They should have legally, sounds like. Contacted us and we should have an application because we are involved and it's the driveway that goes into Woodstock and so forth. So I don't know what your opinion is that we probably should jump in somewhere on this, I don't know. We should have an application.
Right,
What-
so I've been having
Just say
conversations with.
If we
Yeah, I've
don't get the application, we're gonna jump in?
It's up to you what you want to do. I mean, technically, yes, they are supposed to come to you for approval to use the road because the only access is through Woodstock. There is no way to get it in front of the planning board without an application. You know, Thornton can't just send it over because there's nothing there for you to review if you don't get an application. So I've been in contact with the attorney and I've said, hey, you're gonna work with me, you're gonna send me over an application. And they've said, well, you know, we're still considering it. You guys don't have site plan review. It seems weird that we would have to come to you. And I said, I'm not saying it's not weird. It is weird, but that's what the law says. And, you know, I basically haven't gotten an answer back from them about whether they're gonna come over or not. They may be waiting to see what happens with the appeal. At Superior Court before they come to Woodstock. That seems silly to me because as far as I'm concerned, they don't have final approval until they come to Woodstock. I can follow up with them again and see what their plan is. But yeah, if they decide that they're just not going to come to Woodstock, you as the selectmen have to make the enforcement decision. What are you going to do about it?
So maybe you should reach out to them one more time and just say, if we don't get an application, we're gonna have to do something.
I can do that.
Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah. Yeah,
You know, we're
We
not
can-
saying we're gonna
right, a
have to
cease
do
and,
something, we
cease
don't.
and desist until we get an application. And if we don't get an application, you're forcing our hands into
Intervening.
intervening,
Whether with a lawsuit with them or by
Right.
ourselves.
which we don't wanna do.
But we don't wanna do that.
No.
Do you want to give me a date by which they need to get you an application?
What's your next planning board date?
Good question.
October after Columbus Day.
October 21st.
So, and they need,
So that's a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, that's a month.
That's a
but they
month,
need to notice it. How many days do you need to notice?
2 weeks, I mean.
So if they wanted it to go the October 21st, they'd need 14 days.
Is it 2 weeks or something?
Yeah,
Most
who
boards
knows?
require that applications be submitted 21 days ahead of time. So if you have a 24th meeting, you would need the application by the 3rd.
Yeah, or they would be pushed to the November one.
I'll send the email, I'll copy Judy, and I will let you know when I hear back.
If we can, before you go, Laura, I'd like to go off script a little bit here, about this contract, with Lincoln on the,
She hasn't seen it yet. I just got it this morning.
oh, okay.
She
I
has
still
not.
haven't, it's that,
Oh. I don't know.
no, not that one, it's
Oh.
contracted, now all of a sudden, we're working without a contract.
Oh, I don't think, I didn't have her prepared for that. Sorry.
Well, no, but you had said that item number 5 in the contract with communication to Lincoln, is a non-starter. It is for me also. I wanna know what, I would like to hold their feet to the fire and say either, remove it entirely or we're going to back to Grafton. Because right now, as far as I'm concerned, we're working without a contract.
I think that
No, it
is
doesn't end
the
till,
joint,
is it?
Well, it was left up in
we
the,
are without a contract right now.
We are without a contract.
so,
Cause we didn't sign it.
right,
And I think I was under the impression that Laura weighed in on that and put the ball back in your court as to whether it was worth assuming that responsibility and why would you want to?
Right.
And it came before you
We
guys,
said
and you were
no.
gonna go back, you didn't want to, but you were gonna wait and go back to your joint meeting you were having in October and then go back to Laura.
well, I remember you saying it to me that it was in the hands of the lawyers,
That's what I thought, yeah.
It did come back, and then it came back to you guys.
but that item is still in there. Item 5 is still
Well,
in
they
the contract.
changed it a little bit.
Yeah, I want to eliminate it. I want it removed entirely. I don't want any gray area.
So I don't know, you guys will have to figure out the limits.
Alright,
It's
so
a
we'll review it.
legal question.
I don't
Still
know
have a
what
copy.
contract you're talking about.
The
Dispatch agreement.
Dispatch contract with
Oh,
Lincoln.
okay.
We have to, you know,
I think it should come out or you shouldn't sign it, but that's up to you guys.
I think the bottom line is we could have Laura get back to their council and just say, look, we're not gonna sign it with that in there, period.
Okay.
right.
I can do that, but then what are you gonna do for dispatch services? Do you
Well,
have a
that's
backup?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, the new contract, it's back to
No.
Grafton.
I haven't sent it, it just
Oh.
came to me this morning, I
Alright.
just
Well,
barely got it in
before
here.
you send that mention that we are not gonna sign it without that in there, we should probably review the proposed contract from Grafton.
Laura, I'll
It's pretty
send that to you
simple.
when I get out of here. I just
Okay,
got it this morning.
It's like a half a page.
She's got.
It's real basic.
well, that
Uh,
does not necessarily make it a good contract. That makes it a short
Well,
contract.
the one we used, everybody, the one we used the last time we were with them before we went over to Lincoln.
Anyway, let's let Laura look at it, well, next meeting, we can
I'll be in touch.
speed it up a little bit.
It's just me, I don't, it annoys the hell out of me.
No, I don't think we should hold any liability for their employees.
Absolutely not,
Come on, that's, you know.
for their employees,
Right.
absolutely not.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks for signing on, Laura, appreciate
Have a
it.
good
Always a
rest of your day.
pleasure, always a pleasure.
good to see you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Alright,
Alright, I don't know where,
so now we're on, accept donations from the Woodstock Firefighter spot.
I'll
So,
make a motion to accept that donation from.
I'll second.
in the amount of
The
Two
first,
thousand-
yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
so $2,235
So the t-shirts.
for
Yeah, from-
t-shirt sales.
at the
Yeah.
Woodstock Inn.
Not too
So we
much.
got a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Just kidding.
And then up next is we have, accept,
Lobster.
yep, funds from Lobster Fest in the amount of $7,368.48. Do I have a motion?
Yep. I'll make that.
Second,
Second, all those in favor? What an amazing event that is. They
It is
happened to be
great.
there, this year, and they do a fantastic job. They're so organized, and everything is boom, boom, boom.
we had company right with it.
Yeah,
We have people come from
yeah,
out of state just to go.
Yeah,
it's a
That's
wonderful, wonderful
it's a
program.
great event.
And it's great that the community rallies behind them
Oh,
too,
it is
support them. I
super.
know you
No, we all
donated
do.
some stuff and other folks, so kudos to
I
them.
think the only thing you have to buy is lobsters.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
All right, so now we need to approve a check request in the amount of $388.60 for Lobster Fest supplies to Melissa Sabourn. Do I have a motion?
Yeah.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Uh,
Aye. We took care of our EV charging systems.
Yes.
Stay tuned, we put, I got the, Judy and I got the application in, it was accepted, we went back and forth a couple times. I got Revision Energy involved, and they helped me with the, application.
Good.
We have to put it up to bid, of course, but I mean,
Mhm.
he was great, they were great about it. And so I
George
hope,
James,
yes, and hopefully, but I also got an email from them afterwards, wow, they were so impressed with the huge number of applications they got. So I don't know where we'll be on the list, but it sounds like we're pretty high on the list when they did yours.
Yeah.
Over at the visitor center, so I think we're at a pretty good position to get level 2 charging.
That's
in
great.
the main parking lot. And they pay for all of it.
Right.
So, the state, but, I don't know when, I think in a month or so before we hear.
Good.
So, and Mike and I looked at it and she looked at where to put it and,
yep,
you know, if it works out, it would be great if we could get it. By next spring and get approval, and if we could do it at the same time we did the Morris Street,
yeah, so.
water. So then we could take everything up and have it done
That's great.
underground, it'd be nice, so.
And it'll
Listen.
be, so they'll be level 2, not
Level
fast
2.
chargers, okay.
Level 2, because that's, they like level 2 is like in a place like ours, with, well, the other ones are so expensive, they don't have the funds for all those.
Gotcha,
And we don't have, it would be a lot of money because they'd have to drag in power from somewhere else.
got it,
Where the level 2s are pretty much set up for it. And we're in a position where people go shopping, they live there, they, you know,
okay,
they have other
Yep.
things to do when they park.
Yep.
So.
Good.
That's the idea.
nice,
And then he did mention the next round will open up to private businesses like mine or anyone else's
okay,
next summer. And then maybe money for that to help fund them. And, you know, restaurants and hotels and apartment buildings and things like that, so next round, so,
great,
but we'll see.
good stuff. Looks like you're giving us an update on the centrifuge and wastewater facility event.
Yes. Couple things on wastewater, we got the grant approved for, scanning all the underground camera work,
Yeah.
everything, so
Oh, good,
the state's gonna pay for that for us, which will be great, cause that'll help us as we go forward. The centrifuge, work in progress, but, it really seems like, it might be a really good deal for us in that, you know, 90% of the water, the waste that we send with Lamprey and get pumped out is water.
Hmm.
What we could do is the centrifuge would spin all the water out that we could process and take all the solids out, and then we'd have a place we'd store the solids and, send the solids somewhere, which would be a lot less, it'd be, we spend about 130 or 40,000 a year, I guess he's just rough
estimate,
numbers.
yeah,
On lamprey disposing on the water, if we did it with a centrifuge, it'd probably be like 40.
Okay,
but the centrifuge costs 400,000 or so.
okay, is there
But-
grants?
Maybe, but maybe not, even if it's not a grant, we get low interest loans and you can pay it off in 3 or 4 years.
How soon are you looking to make a move on that?
I'd like to do it by town meeting,
We gotta go working on the loan, maybe warrant articles.
warrant articles and stuff like that. I'm not sure there's grants, but what we're doing now is, Kathy sent in a sample to the centrifuge company. And what they do is they analyze our wastewater with their lab and stuff like that, to make sure we're a good candidate. If we are a good candidate, then they'll send a mini centrifuge setup out to us. To actually run a pilot for a week or so, to make sure again, we're a good candidate, and they can pretty much give us an exact return on investment. On the
Okay.
centrifuge,
Okay.
pretty close.
Yeah, there's also a payback by, just with, Lanford.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Every week,
it's,
every 2 weeks.
if it works, it's kind of a
Not
no-brainer.
more.
You know, it would take, it's not as in anything, it's not as simple as any of that, but, it would take probably a little building, you probably, centrifuge, you probably take more town labor. Do we have enough town labor? We need to look into that a little more, because we need a little more help at the plant. Is it something we handle with people we have? I don't know. We're gonna look at that.
Aren't you guys gonna go do a site visit? And
At
set
some
the
point,
budget?
yeah, we're gonna do a site visit at some point too. But then if we spend that 15,000 on the pilot, we would get it back, I think it's one of those things.
Yeah, they put it towards the cost of
Cost.
this, okay,
If it's not, then we spend 15,000, not to spend 400,
right.
that we don't need.
So if we put in a warrant article and then in the meantime, we also look for grants or whatever, but obviously we wouldn't know by then. That would be okay if we all of a sudden came up with a grant.
We amend the warrant article.
What you'll do is say you wanna borrow up to this amount,
Okay,
and then as, like you do with others, you'll also say, and be able to negotiate interest rates, be able to negotiate loan grants,
okay,
we'll make sure the wording is.
Right,
covers us so that if
Yeah.
we find something, I learned of a site the other day, I can't think of it off the top of my head, that has provided access to federal grants too.
Okay,
And there's a lot out there, as you know.
yep, you're right.
Student, wastewater.
And, but what we found too is that, talking to these guys, now the ARPA funds are pretty much gone. The grants are getting less and less,
And tighter and tighter.
and tighter and tighter, so I mean. The time
It
when
was
we
a
get a
free-for-all.
grant, the times when you get grants for anything are coming to an end here, so I mean, they're better be more challenging. But this makes sense even if we did not get a grant.
Just to
You know.
circle back around to it's not a grant that we have coming in for the camera system.
Right,
It's a
loan
loan, we're
that
gonna
gets paid
require a
back.
warrant article, but it
On
will be
that.
100% forgiven.
Got it.
But it's still,
A loan,
it's through the SRF fund,
Okay,
but instead of us having to pay, usually you pay at a low interest rate, you pay back. This will be 100% forgiven. Kind of the
Gotcha.
same, but
yeah,
different.
Okay.
So just wanted to clear that up. that
and
it's
what's the life of one of these?
oh, a long time, like
Is
20,
it?
30 years.
Okay, so definitely after 4 years, it's gonna pay itself.
Gosh.
That's just a
If-
whack.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
thought
4 or
is,
5 years.
my thought is if they say it's gonna pay itself off in 4 years, you bond it over 7 or so, so
Yeah,
you're sure it's not gonna affect the rate.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
That's what I would think.
I think there's a lot of things, we just gotta weigh in all the costs.
Yeah,
all
this,
the-
yeah, we got a ways to go.
All the
It's not-
stuff.
yeah,
But it looks like it's
Looks
a good way to go.
Good.
And also the, cybersecurity grant on the wastewater and water, we have not heard back yet on that assessment program. I might give them a call or an email next week to see what's going on with that. It looks like we were gonna get accepted for sure.
It did, but then it kind of just died out.
We haven't heard anything, so I don't know if it's good or bad or
Scary.
whatever, so. They have a lot of time off in the summer, so.
Yeah.
They might not have been back to us yet. So, but that is important because we've got about the most basic
yeah,
stuff there is there, so.
awesome. Road inventory, just to make folks aware, we did a ride around, about a month ago now. With, with our, engineer, Horizons engineer. And the town administrator Judy, Mike from Public Works, there's a workshop, hosted workshop. During that, the town engineer assessed our roads and confirmed that they're in pretty good shape. In pretty good condition. We kind of made notes of areas of concern down the road. And we're gonna kind of lay out a spreadsheet, to look at this. And also, yeah, continue to upkeep the roads as the Public Work Department has.
Yeah, he was happy he thought we
Yeah.
were in really pretty good shape.
Yep.
But we've gotta need to come up with a plan and keep on going.
Yeah.
Well, I think the
So
public
Mike's
works,
good,
he
yeah.
has a plan and he
Yeah.
kind of agreed with the direction he was going. We just need to. maybe
Visually put it
We're
up.
gonna try to put it into like a CIP, but not a CIP.
CIP, right.
But we just, you know, we don't have
Right.
CIP, but we're gonna just try to, so
Right,
it's
right.
visual.
Yeah.
Visual, and then, those things can change too.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
they're just a
It's
working
like-
document.
Working done.
Yeah, so that people can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we're working on. We don't have it yet, but.
No,
we're working on
no,
it.
it's in the works.
One thing, while we're on public works stuff, that you guys might not know, in the water system right now, the main tank, the storage tank is not being used at all. Up on the hill, it's being, redone according to schedule, and there's planned maintenance. So that, it's being painted and repaired inside, they found some cracks and so forth, which they can fix. But, we've been on just well pressure for about 10 days, and it looks like it probably has to go through the weekend though. But the fact that we improved all that pumping system down there with the variable speed pumps and everything like that means that we can go without the tank for a few weeks or a month or whatever, because the variable speed pumps will keep up and change and keep the pressure, keep the pressure okay. Where before, we couldn't have really done that, so.
And they
I
can
think-
monitor from their phone, whereas before.
Can they do it from
We
their
had to take
phone?
that tank down a few years ago. And Mike was actually sleeping down there in his room.
Oh,
They
But
gotta-
now he doesn't have,
Yeah.
it's just all,
They are,
It's really
they are
good.
gonna have to chlorinate and stuff like that when we put it back on, but there's a lot of testing that has to be done with the tank before they put it back into the system.
and
okay.
you know, when they got in there,
They found a big crack.
the anodes, whatever.
And anodes.
Anodes.
Yeah.
They were gone, so, well, they were there, they're being replaced.
You know,
Oh,
it'll be right up to speed for another long time.
There was some that could have, but we were gonna have to pay them to drain the tank like in a couple of years. It was,
So it's just.
yeah, while we're at it, let's
Just
do
do
it. Yeah.
so they shipped them in and it should be like,
Did I mention with the wastewater before that, the state is not letting unlicensed people do things on the weekend? I
yes,
Did I mention that last meeting? Okay.
well,
I wasn't on it for it.
Okay.
Well, bottom line is, the state does not want unlicensed people doing, tests of the treatment plant on the weekends, being our crew, so they've gone ahead and bought some, pH meters and things like that that can be monitored remotely, so that we'll cover ourselves
mhm.
without us taking the pH reading ourselves. It'll be actually Kathy that's in charge of that.
Great.
So, it costs some money, but not a ton of money, but
Yeah.
$5,000 or $6,000, but that way,
Yeah, it's
it was,
worth
it was a no-brainer,
then,
we had to
yeah.
do it.
And she has the SCADA system now too, where she can watch from.
Oh,
the
yeah.
phone and all that.
Oh, yes,
So-
she's had that a long time,
Guys have done
and
that.
this, and the pH system, what pH will be hooked into the SCADA system too, so.
Great.
All that, she's still in control, so the state will
Good
hopefully
monitor,
stay
And
away.
that's how it can go. We can get around.
And we're working with Steve on getting the SIU done, but that we talked about, and the lead
You
thing.
have an email on that. It just came in this morning, just so you know.
Oh, good. And the lead thing is a nightmare that we're dealing with. Constantly.
Thank
Mike
you.
and I won't even talk about it. It's just, this, and it's not just us, it's a lot of,
Yeah.
all small towns in the state are dealing with the same
Water and
thing.
sewer have consumed our whole
Yeah.
summer.
But I mean, we've really made great progress with the upgrades, energy wise and pump wise and all that stuff.
Much needed.
People are amazed at our system, like people are coming here to tour our systems.
So,
That's great.
they like, they wanna come see what we've done.
So
It's kind of cool,
we still got things to do, but.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you're
All right.
doing them.
Yeah.
Mostly with grants.
Yeah, going down the, you know,
Yeah.
going down the checklist and doing what we can and as we can.
Maybe you guys have new boots with that, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And most of it.
Yeah.
We just have another note here about East Side Road. That was on our road tour that day too.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yeah, because we
We
talked
did
to
every
Steve
road.
about it.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did. It was part of your workshop
Yeah.
on.
And we had received some resident complaints or comments about the dangers of that corner, remember, on East Side Road by Water Wheel Hill? And so in that discussion, we considered whether it was appropriate to implement the engineer's recommendations to actually raise, and Bill Lambert had been here
Yeah,
last fall.
I think so.
I think it was last fall. It was, yeah,
It's
where
not-
you're.
It was even a
Anyway.
long time ago.
It was a while, I
It
can't
was-
remember,
yeah.
but it's been a while.
A year or so ago, and had said, although it sounds crazy to increase the speed, by increasing the speed on that section, it actually allows us to get the
Sign.
the right signage to
It
show
puts us in a
that,
different category.
yeah.
State has parameters as
And it's
to
not
To
just
get
that
this
how
chevron,
that
chevrons,
speed
right?
limit thing works.
yeah, we'll bring your chevrons, but I think it's a whole sign package for the whole road,
Whole
like,
road,
if I
yeah,
understood it correctly.
right. So, I had made the motion that day to adjust the speed limit as
Right.
suggested or recommended by, the DOT, Bill Lambert.
Yeah, 'cause you had-
According to the engineer's
Yeah,
recommendations
you
as
had
well.
discussed it with Steve, you guys were discussing it with Steve.
Yep.
So hopefully we can get that going. It was seconded by Gil and then approved by all of us.
Yeah, and last I heard, Mike had called them and reached out to them, and
Oh, great.
it was going through their meeting, and I believe they thought it was gonna be approved, and they were just gonna have to wait on dig safe. And then they would come within 2 to
Dig
3
safe
weeks.
and whether or not they actually have the signage already.
Yeah, they had to make sure they had the whole sign package, and then they waiting on dig safe. And they felt once dig safe approval, it would be 2 to 3 weeks from then, and it
Okay.
would be out.
So
Great,
if they don't get it out this fall, hopefully we'll have it starting next spring.
it's more. than
And I mean,
interesting.
Well,
Yeah,
my
I
motorcycle season is over.
Right, exactly.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, the
Yeah.
Worcester too, I mean, Ellie has them in
They
his
come
yard in the
down,
winter.
Yeah,
Yeah, I used to live
Not
there, too.
motorcycles, so it's a little less.
Cars, but it gets
um,
slippery and boom.
I mean, it's not as life threatening, I don't believe, but. I mean, and there was concerns coming from public works, police, fire, and
Especially
the
fire.
homeowner, you
They don't
know.
wanna get down there and find somebody dead because of.
No.
What,
motorcycle accident.
what they were seeing this summer, it was almost like PTSD, they couldn't sleep, you know,
Yeah.
these were pretty bad accidents.
They actually found somebody in their driveway that required, it was really beat up,
Yeah,
from Canada, I think.
Huh.
I think you're right, yes.
And he was in really bad shape.
Huh.
My son was working down there one day, because they did a remodel,
Right, they're doing remodeling that, yeah.
and he's working on the front porch, shut the saw off, and turned around, heard moaning, there's a guy in the ditch behind him.
Yeah,
They had to go over and check him and report it and get people down there.
I think, you know, the fair thing to do is try it their way, and if it doesn't work, and you don't see improvement, or it gets worse, then you go back and say, hey, we tried
Well, the
this.
chevrons themselves should,
Yeah, that would help a lot. And people go the speed they want anyway, so.
Well, that's what he was kind of saying, you know, they tested it, and they're all traveling now. I don't know, all you can do is try, right?
they must know what they're doing.
Cause nothing, I mean, it got worse versus better.
They do it all the time.
That's
great. Okay, next up, joint meeting, the 7th or the 21st. I think we just said that there's a planning board meeting on the
There
21st.
is.
So,
I mean, that was just what was offered, I can always reach out if you guys wanna pick.
I think that'll be fine.
The 7th,
Yeah.
okay, let them know.
What do you think? Do you have any conflicts on October 7th? It's fall foliage season.
that's. Fine, I don't have to work, that's usually. In case you're running around with a bus, you know, I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
Want me to confirm that date then? Bill, you
Was it
good?
October 7th work for you for joint?
Yeah, I got nothing on my dance card.
Okay. You'll send us out a calendar, will you?
Oh, yeah, calendar, but I don't think you do
Is
that.
that what, is that Monday?
Yeah, it is.
So Kathy, they changed the planning board meeting, right? So I'm just gonna.
Yes, because of the,
The holiday, they always.
Yeah.
What is Columbus Day? Is that the next weekend? What day is it?
Columbus
Yeah.
Day is,
I just gotta,
14th.
like, I
It
gotta
is?
change
Yeah.
my calendar on this.
and Monday is usually
Um,
the holiday, which is the second Monday of the month. So we've always come to, we've got.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Can you just confirm with them if it's at 5 or 5:30?
Oh, that's a good question.
Usually they let, we go at 5 so that the
Right.
joint part's done for the start of theirs at 5:30,
Okay.
but we'll see. And I would just say, looking at this, that there was a request for Glenwood ambulance to whatever documentation they can maybe get to us prior to that meeting so that it can be reviewed.
From Linwood?
Yeah, from the ambulance, yeah.
Yeah, the situation there is not good.
Yeah,
What's going on?
There's no money. It's what Tom Sabourn has always said, once you start paying people, like on the fire department or the ambulance, the volunteers stop showing up.
mhm.
So, so the ambulance is at a point now where they had to pay a few people and they couldn't operate.
Right.
So now less and less volunteers show up, so now you've gotta pay more people
To be there.
to be there, so it's getting tough. So I think it's gonna be a substantial change, I think, if we wanna keep things going, so. I missed the last meeting, and unfortunately, I'm gonna try to make tomorrow morning's meeting, but I don't know if I can.
I would say I know they presented a slideshow or a PowerPoint. Maybe it would be beneficial
It
for
would be
those
good
that
for
were
you to-
not in that meeting to receive that PowerPoint prior so that the data can be.
It would be good for you to look at that.
Yeah.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing a great job, I think,
Yes, the current chief there as well, so I think he's
He's-
fallen into the
he's really-
situation.
he's really done a
And
great job.
So he's now have left to pick up the pieces.
I think it's just the things that everybody's going through, is all over the country, not just New Hampshire or here, so.
I don't know, they're a wonderful service.
Oh, no, they do a
Oh, yeah.
great job, and I think we're just gonna have to bite the bullet a little more. But I don't know what that number is or whatever, so.
Very fortunate to have them,
All right, too.
like,
100%. We talked about the
I don't know anything.
PA system for town hall.
Oh,
Okay, we'll review that and then
Yeah, Ken,
maybe
so,
next meeting we can.
yeah, Ken dropped it off, I wasn't sure I was gonna have anything left in my budget,
Yeah,
told me to look at it, if not, I would have to go through the budget cycle of next year,
okay.
cause I have a pretty big election coming up.
it's a portable PA that would sit in front of the lectern. I
We
guess.
have one,
We do?
yeah.
Well, this is with the stand-up microphones and
Well,
stuff.
I know, but we can get a mic stand and a mic and, with a cord.
Oh, you can use it for the,
Yeah, we used it for this.
Oh, it must be in there then.
oh, we got it then.
Yeah.
We would just have to rejig it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, no, that one I bought. we
And you
bought
know how to
that
do
for
it, and
$250. I think we
Gil
bought
has
something for the-
volunteered to make it work.
yeah, I don't care.
No, he knows how to do that
It's
stuff.
basic PA, so
He knows how to do that stuff.
I don't know.
Maybe we could talk to,
We
for
don't
this
need it.
one meeting, for this meeting that we need. For town meeting is really where he's looking for it.
And I think Gil can hook that
Maybe
one
we
we have up.
Talk to the Kink Rec and borrow their freestanding PA system, cause the town doesn't use it, cause they're at Lincoln. Yeah,
Well, Gil's saying we got all the stuff we need already.
yeah.
okay, so either
We don't-
or, I
we
think
just
we
need,
could
I
look-
don't have stand-up, like the stand-up microphones and stuff, but we.
All we need is the stand.
I can let you borrow a stand. You've got a stand, I'm sure.
got 4.
Okay, I think we could piece it all together.
Yeah.
All of them are boom mic,
Yeah.
boom stands.
Yeah.
We can put them
Okay.
in the front.
Whoa,
Look
very
at that.
fancy.
Alright.
And then we just briefly discussed the dispatch agreement with Laura.
Yeah,
I think, we just need some time to look over the agreement that's in one from Grafton, make sure there's nothing missing.
Well, I kind
So
of
we'll
wrote on
kind of
here,
table that.
yeah, and I didn't know if you, but my question to you was going to be, do you want me to forward this to Laura? But,
Yes,
like I said, I didn't mean to, it just came in at.
I just don't think we can keep going to that agreement with Lincoln with that. I agree with you, Bill.
Yeah.
Well, and Laura said that in the initial, discussion with her that citizens of Woodstock should not be held responsible for something that Lincoln's dispatch screws up. Yeah.
Yep.
And I couldn't agree more.
Once we did this, we did. I think that.
Now, I've been talking to Kevin about it. He seems to be on pretty good standing now with the Lincoln PD. He's afraid that this might kind of throw,
I am too.
we can't. I'm really dead set against article number.
No, I,
Which is
That needs to
fine,
go away.
I think, yeah.
let's,
And I think
let's,
now-
Or readdress.
He said that when they redid the building, with the new building, they've got like 3 new big consoles and a big huge antenna. For what, 2 towns?
right,
So if they did it because they thought we were gonna stay with them,
no,
then they should be willing to
I think
take
it could definitely,
responsibility for what happens in that building.
I think it's definitely could tell some really hard feelings. But I think we should, I personally think we should stick with Lincoln if we can, if those guys are okay with it, but we can't have that in there.
No. And as far as I'm concerned, if we take on that liability, if we say we're moving it, it kind of alleviates Kevin's, because he doesn't, he says like one more malfeasance and we'll go ahead and go. I'm not waiting for another malfeasance.
Well, I think that too, at that point, I mean, if you have to do it, you have the conversation, this is nothing personal, this is
Right.
business, it's just
Yeah.
business, and we have to look out, our job is to look out for the best interest of Woodstock. And follow our lawyer's recommendation,
But we
and
can't
please
go
know
against
this is
the
nothing
lawyers.
personal, we just can't have that.
No, and that's what they're saying, but as far as I'm concerned, so if they're gonna, if there's a possibility that they may lose us, they gotta stop letting the tail wag the dog over there.
Okay. Any public participation on?
How's Miriam Woods, Jim?
You'll find out at the next meeting, we're not allowed to talk about it. today.
Oh, jeez.
See, oh goodness,
It's
it's
on-
somebody that respects, follows the
I'm
rules.
following the rules.
He does.
I have a question about the dispatch.
Yeah.
Just to put it in perspective, obviously, it sounds like you left Grafton and went to Lincoln.
Yes,
What was the reasons for that?
A lot of money at that time.
Grafton was more expensive.
But now it's not much of a
that's pretty.
difference.
Now it's like maybe $5,000.
So it's not such a huge issue. It was tens of thousands when we switched.
Back before some of the select men and women were born, we
Yes.
went with the Grafton
Oh, yeah.
because it was cheaper.
Mhm.
And I had not realized that they had gotten
Yeah.
uppity.
Well, the thing too was that we had to have special phone lines put in that have since gone away too, like they have implemented their own phone line, so it's not long distance calling anymore.
Okay.
So there's different things that have happened since that have lowered the prices, but. And I think Kevin was trying, or
It was the chief Olson at the time.
Brian was trying to,
Normalized relationship.
yeah,
Yeah.
mend
would be
relationships, so he wanted to try it over there.
What,
But I
what's in
think
this
there was
con-
continuity there too, when you have,
a local.
they're local, but also when either department is in need of backup from one of the other towns, it's nice that you're working with the same dispatch communication and.
Well, but they've got a kind of poison pill in there in that they're saying basically if the dispatcher makes a mistake on a Woodstock call or whatever, and they get sued, we're liable for their
In
employee,
other words, if.
Was it,
for their employee.
yeah, I get that, but it would just have to be a Woodstock call.
I believe, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause their calls don't call.
They'd be liable for theirs anyway, this,
Mhm.
You know, we signed it initially, but the more we looked at it, the more we went,
And now the attorney says you definitely shouldn't sign this, so. It's,
I don't like the idea of having a purple light that goes on when it's a Woodstock call.
I have no idea.
Okay. And then
I would never wanna create hard feelings over there, but.
No, I don't wanna leave it.
Not
I think everybody's getting along pretty well right now,
I
so.
just, the bottom was just for you guys.
Yeah, to take
review
under review.
And
Yeah,
to get
for
back
next
to me
meeting.
so I can start, because they're not initiating anything, so I don't wanna be
Right.
dragging our feet again.
Yeah, right
The
now,
MOUs.
working without a contract, so what happens now if something's screwed up?
Yeah, no, we need to get that done, so. Okay,
But you sent them some information about getting that done, right? The Ice Castle folks.
No, because I need you guys to make sure you wanna stay status quo.
but I'll.
They haven't initiated anything.
We'll
They
redo
should
that,
be-
but I think we should get it done now and not be.
I agree.
Well,
I think it's
I
last
don't
spring.
think-
I know,
There's
I wanna
a
see it done by
balance.
October first.
I think it should be done in
There's
June.
like a foot
Yeah,
house
me
out
too.
now, it's like Park Farm Road.
Cause
Okay.
they went most of last year
I
without it.
think that
So I
that-
would say that we do not sign this and give them this until,
We review it,
and their balance is taken care of
yes.
for the work that was, the paving work that was done, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, we'll have some changes too, because didn't the per gallon rate go up?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll have
it'll have the same.
Yep, and I have that
Right.
stuff, but I do like, I think we do wanna have conversations with Mike about state of where we're at with the water, yeah, I don't know, I guess.
We're in good shape with water. I mean,
What could be allowed and whatnot,
I think we might, we're talking about, we might be able to allow more, you know, but.
I thought we did that last year,
Yeah, we did, and I think
I think that's.
And they never even went up that high.
right,
Oh, so
so
then we're
keeping
good.
it status
I
quo on
agree.
that part would probably be.
Yeah.
Fine, okay,
I mean, and they're not saying, I don't believe it says in there, I haven't reread it yet,
Right.
but if they needed a little more, I think it says that they can call and request
We,
it.
I think that's what it said, and there may be a situation, if it's not a busy town, we could do that, with the new pumping system, it gives us more ability to do that, so.
But it gives you a little control over it too.
Yeah.
Versus a free for all.
right.
Cause what if we have a, God forbid, a structure fire or something?
No, you can't, I think that's all in there, I think
It
the
is,
bottom
yeah.
line is. We can go over there and shut it off, yeah.
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah, I think Laura is.
You know.
That's fair.
I mean, I think we wanna work with them, and I think it's not pretty loud, but
About this,
we just need to have them.
what about the sand? No, I was gonna ask how the sandcastles went, are they gonna come back?
I don't think it went well.
I think it's the advertising, cause once they brought in things to our, office.
Yeah.
Our locals and people were coming in, but they were grabbing like, and it was too late, I didn't realize they were done. They're like, we didn't even know this was here.
Yeah.
So it's too bad, like, I think if they did as much.
I think the trouble is all they depend on is free advertising.
Or
Yeah.
word of mouth.
PR, and you know, and there's no advertising through any other media other than Facebook and
I don't,
Yeah.
honestly don't understand how they do business.
so.
For all of it, whether it was the sandcastle or the ice castle,
Mm.
I don't get it. Everything's last minute.
So I think it's, I respect them for it, I wish what they're doing.
Right.
Well, that's because we allow them to.
Yeah, I think, I mean, and I think it takes a couple years for word of mouth to travel too, so if they give it one more shot, like, and then kind of,
Yeah.
cause they're cool.
Yeah.
And opening up at night with
Yeah.
the lights.
I think that
you know.
makes a lot of difference, yeah.
So I
Maybe
think
some
they
kind
do
of-
that.
Because during the day, the
Do some
people have
stuff
a
in the
lot.
parking lot
There's
too,
enough for them to do
to
during the day.
Yeah,
like-
exactly.
because right now it's like you're pulling into a parking lot that's desolate.
Right.
Desolate.
Wait, so maybe
Yeah.
some
Even for
signage
this-
that can help with that.
I don't know, I
Yeah.
hope they kind of ask you guys because
Yeah.
I would.
Maybe
for
They
people
did reach out to me, and I think,
To say like,
Give it some advice.
just give it some more.
Yeah.
Cause there were so many people that, when they asked if they could leave them, that just didn't know,
Right,
and they are cool.
they were cool. Great, anything else to come before the board? If not,
my favorite motion.
there you go.
Can we adjourn?
Motion
to
to adjourn at 9:15 AM. Do I have a second? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Great,
Thanks for
And you
coming
wanna
out,
know,
Jim.
I would just wanna say,